Today we're checking out the Furitek Cayman Pro SZK. Questionable styling, unquestionable performance. The SZK is the successor to the Cayman Pro that Furitek released last year. And like its predecessor, this is a performance-focused RTR built from the ground up with premium parts with a singular focus on performance. Aside from the styling, Furitek has upgraded this in a couple different ways, and we're going to take a look at that today. We'll go over the key features, we'll put it on the setup table to see how it performs by the numbers, then we'll get it on the indoor course, and then go hit the rocks with it to see how it does. This is the first time I've been able to get my hands on any Cayman Pro, so I'm really excited to try this thing out. So let's jump in and check this thing out. Let's take a close look at the new Cayman Pro SZK here before we hit the setup table and then do some running. So from an appearance standpoint, this has some upgrades over the previous Cayman Pro versions. It's got this new hard body, this new plastic hard body on here. This has a really rugged feel to it. I was almost questioning if it was metal when I first got my hands on it. It's very, very rigid, very tough. Also feels like it's got generous amounts of clear on it. For scratch resistance and longevity, the Furitek logos are what feels like painted over decals. It's an interesting looking body. It's kind of like a half cab with a squared off look in the front. It is on a hinge with magnet mounts in the front, strong magnet mounts, but makes accessing the electronics and everything inside very easy. Nice solid feel to the hinges. Very, very strong. For wheels and tires, we've got these 1.2 inch plastic beadlock wheels wrapped in these high rack style 60mm tires. Now I like that Furitek has gone with a smaller tire here to keep the center of gravity down low. The portal axles are going to give us a bunch of ground clearance. They don't really need to have huge tires coupled with the portals. So with a 60mm tire, which is a nice size here, you get a really aggressive low stance. Makes it look nice and planted, but you still got all that room in the middle there. The tires feel pretty good, very, very stiff. These certainly could use some venting, and I would almost say remove the foams entirely or put something softer in there because these feel very, very stiff. The Cayman Pro SZK, man, this thing has just been completely built from the factory. Just looking at it, everything on here is premium metal, brass, aluminum, carbon fiber. Very, very impressive, the components on these things. The axles, so it's got the FCX24 style axles, but we have this nice kind of gunmetal billet aluminum housing with brass covers on the outer portal boxes. Up front, inner and outer portal covers, and the aluminum axle housings themselves. We've also got aluminum steering linkage up front, attached to a servo on axle, metal gear digital servo from Furitek. Underneath here, we've now got stainless steel drive shafts, got a flat skid with countersunk screws, high quality aluminum high clearance links. You can see they've got the bend in them for the high clearance on the lower links. While we're underneath here, we got to talk about the angled skid. Look at the angle on this thing, 7.5 degree angled skid. It's going to give you crazy clearance when you're going up and over obstacles. The chassis underneath here, very minimalistic design. You have a near infinite amount of mounting possibilities for your shocks and your linkage here. The chassis rails, the battery tray, the electronics tray, all of this is carbon fiber. It's going to give you very light weight. You want that sprung weight to be as light as possible, so we've got a nice carbon fiber setup up here. We've got most of the weight down low, unsprung. Very well designed here. Sitting nice and low in the chassis is this mini Stellar transmission and the mini Komodo brushless motor. My favorite brushless motor combo, I believe. This motor is super smooth. The way that it delivers power, very linear, tons of torque down low, but very smooth and predictable. Plus, it just looks glorious. That's run by a 2-in-1 receiver and ESC combo here. This is the Lizard Pro with an integrated receiver that mates to this FlySky 2.4 gigahertz transmitter. Probably a carryover from the Hobby Plus collaboration that Furitek's been doing, but this is a very nice radio, and the combination works excellent. The slow crawl, fantastic, just as you would expect from Furitek in a product like this. Whisper quiet, smooth power delivery. This does have the Bluetooth module built in, so that Lizard Pro combo in the back there, small, compact, efficient, and effective. With the Bluetooth built in, you have access to the Furicar app that's going to give you all the tuning functionality, software updates for life that we've come to know and love from Furitek. Just a great setup here. Super premium components throughout. This is capable of up to 3S, so you can run 2 or 3S batteries in here, no problem. Chassis sits on these nice new aluminum big bore oil shocks. These are oil damped, but you do also have the preload adjustment here. One other cool feature of this, just adds to the cool factor of this truck. It has a multifunctional light system up front. As you can see right now, it's running the red halo lights on it, which look fantastic. Give it a great, almost demonic look to it. Matches the character of this truck. But you can toggle them with the channel 3 switch here. You can switch through the modes. There's a variety of different settings. My favorite is this one with just the halos on here, but very cool with that additional functionality. Just gives it some good character. Overall, super premium build here. This is a truck that if you didn't want to do anything, you wanted kind of the best of the best right from the get, this is going to be it. Furitek really threw everything in the kitchen sink at this truck. It is ready to go. So why don't we hit the setup table. I want to see what this thing puts up for numbers on the setup table, and then we're going to run it and see how it does. Here we are on the corner weight system here. If you can see this, we've got 57% front, 43% rear weight bias on here. Near perfect total weight of about 430 grams. So impressive weight distribution right out of the box from this. Here we are on the setup table. Let's check out the RTI on this. Not a lot of articulation there. We're already getting pretty significant lift. 13 on the RTI. Not made to flex, that's for sure, but you don't necessarily want flex on a hardcore rig like this. Let's try the side hill. $40, $45, $50, $52 on the side hill. Now let's try the vertical. $45, $50, $55. $60. $64 on the vertical. Right, here we are, the new Cayman Pro on the course. I'm excited for this. I've never got my hands on one of the previous Caymans, so this is going to be a cool experience for me. Making our way through Articulation Alley, no issues there. That FOC getting us through there clean. Wish I had a little more steering angle on this. I don't feel like I'm, yeah, I feel like that's as best as I can get with the dual rate setup, but I'm just wishing I had a little more angle there on the steering. Coming into the canyon, we'll try an aggressive line here. Oh, that motor is snappy. Nice. That was a tricky line. This thing, like I figured, wall ride there. The tires definitely need some help with the tire setup here, but able to get up there, a pretty gnarly line. See, again, I really want more steering angle. I wish I could have made that. I'm having to make multiple point turns here. Alright, coming down into Mini Moab here. Very composed through there. See how this does on our typical challenge lines. I'm having to be super careful with the throttle here just because it's so jumpy. wonder if that could be because of the gear ratio in this thing. I think it said it had the FCX24 transmission. So I wonder if it's higher geared than the SCX24. I have this Mini Komodo and Stellar transmission in my Mini Gladiator, and it's not jumpy like this at all. There we go. Man, I'm like feathering this so hard. If we're gonna stick it, go up here. I think it is. Tires are gonna hold. Maybe. Where's that ground clearance? There it is. Try some side hill here. Gonna come across the chute. Very planted there. Nice. Alright, let's try Hell's Gate here. Be extra careful, just given how twitchy the motor is feeling. There we go. So the chassis feels very planted and very capable. I just feel held back by a couple different things. One is the tire setup here, which I knew was going to be an issue. Number two is just how jumpy this motor is. The latter I can tune with the app, which I'm going to do as soon as I'm done on the table here. And the tires we're going to have to look at in another video, but definitely lots of performance capabilities here. We just got to do some tinkering, see what we can get out of it. Take one more spin up the canyon here, and then I'm going to try to tune the motor with the app, and then we're going to go hit the rocks. Out here, crawler heaven, I got my little guy up there checking out some new lines. Here with the Cayman Pro SZK, going to see what this thing can do out here. This is a tough spot for the minis, but we're going to give it a shot. I am starting to lose my steering. See, I've got very little response, and I'm starting to get a metal grinding noise from the front. It's unfortunate. I did bring an extra servo just in case, though. Had to do some hand of God action there. I wasn't able to get up over that gatekeeper, unfortunately. Cold winter day here in New England. Rocks are cold and slippery, but we're going to make the best of it here. Feathering the throttle on this as best as I can, that jumpy Komodo motor. After watching Matt over at 2FMRC's video, I learned that this is really just the character of the Cayman, I gather. That jumpy throttle. So I could take some more effort to smooth it out with the app, but otherwise it'd just be driving style here. I think my servo's done. I think that's it. Come on, come on. Yep, I think it's toast. Alright, pit stop. So just discovered that the servo plug on this runs this almost like this PH 2.0 connector, and I do not have an extra servo that will fit this. So that is a wicked bummer right there. Look at the lengths I go to get content for you guys. Out here is January 6th in Massachusetts, 26 degrees out here. I got the outdoor studios set up to give you guys some rock crawling content, because that's what I promised, so I'm going to deliver. We got a nor'easter coming tomorrow, so this is my last chance to get the Cayman Pro out on the rocks, so let's do it. Swapped out the servo. I put a Reefs 179 in there. This thing is crazy fast. Look at that thing. It's only at 6.5 volts on the BEC. The thing is nuts. Let's see what we can do out here. Portal's definitely going to do good out on the course out here. as is that angled skid to give us the breakover. Hanging up a little bit in the front, but if we're going up over something over at an angle, it's going to be a huge advantage. That Reef servo providing a ton of speed and power, still not giving me the range that I want. Right, I had to pause again there because I lost a link, lost a bolt to my front shock and the front link. This old Quasimodo here is determined to make this hard on me, but we are going to finish this video. As I was saying before I lost the link, that new servo gives me tons of speed and power with my steering, but still doesn't give me the range that I want. I really want more steering angle out of this thing. But the shorter wheelbase, still able to navigate pretty well through the upper section here. There's that high clearance from the skid, doing a great job there, getting us up and over that sharp obstacle. That was a good run. Let's see if we can try some of our usual challenge lines out here. Shorter wheelbase not letting me get up and over that section right there. Great approach angle on this. You can come at these things. Man, look at that. Come at these things pretty much straight on with no issues. There we go, that was good. Again, getting over those real sharp landscape rocks. That was a great job there. The Cayman definitely shining out here, much more so than on the indoor course. Much more at home out on the actual rocks. God, I'm so impressed with the breakover from that skid. One thing I really appreciate about this truck is that there's almost no slack in the driveline. Watch that motor turn and when the wheels engage. There's no slack there. A lot of, when you put a brushless system on some of these other trucks with these axles or portal axles, you get a lot of slop in the driveline. Not with this thing. It is tight. Having a lot of fun out here, not gonna lie. I was pretty frustrated with this initially, but now having it out here on the rock course, it's doing really, really good. This is much more in line with my expectations of this truck. Oh, nice. That was super gnarly. Alright guys, I am freezing out here, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. I was starting to get a little discouraged with this thing, but it's redeemed itself out here on the course and had a lot of fun. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'll see you back on the bench. The Cayman Pro SZK, great performer? Yes. Perfect out of the box? Not quite. On paper, this thing has all the ingredients to be a line-crushing beast. And for the most part, that does all come together and deliver great performance. But there are some areas that are still lacking. For me, right off the bat was the servo. I started having troubles with my servo almost immediately, and it quit on me very shortly when I got it out on the rocks. The Furitek servo isn't necessarily bad, but I think for a rig like this, if you're going to spend $390, you'd want a servo that matches the rest of this build. Even with the bigger servo on here, it did not improve my steering. I really would like to see tighter steering on this truck. I think that would open up a whole nother realm of functionality with this thing. I am noticing that at full lock on this, I'm getting some catching on the body, and I'm also rubbing on the shocks on the inside there. So even if I had more steering angle, I wouldn't really be able to capitalize on it because I'd be catching on the body there. For me, I might want to widen the track out a little bit and maybe experiment with some different portal covers to see if I can free up the steering and get a little bit more angle out of it. Because I just feel like with some more turning radius, with a tighter turning radius combined with this wheelbase, this thing could be a whole lot more agile. And I was really craving that while I was driving it. The steering angle and the steering servo were really my only complaints about this truck. Otherwise, it performed really well. I was a little bummed out with it on the indoor course, but I think it was just kind of held back by the tires. They're very stiff and definitely need some additional venting or some different inserts in here. That's another area, again, where I feel like we're leaving some performance on the table. Could be a potential easy fix. But this thing really started to shine on the outdoor rock course. That's where I was really able to capitalize on all the features of this thing, especially the breakover from that 7.5 angled skid, getting up and over those sharp edged rocks out on the outdoor course. Very impressive. Now the $390 price tag may sound a little scary at first, but there's a lot of value here when you really look at all the components that Furitek has put in this thing. The brushless motor, the stellar transmission, the carbon fiber chassis, all of that together is going to add up really quick. So I do think there's good bang for the buck here. So this truck can either serve as a one and done, or it can be a great platform to build upon. For the former, if you're looking for something that's just going to deliver great performance out of the box, you don't have to mess with it at all. You just want something to buy and then go thrash your buddies' lightly modified rigs, this is a great option. If you're a serious builder, tuner, tinkerer, this could be a great platform to build upon. With some very light modifications and some customization, you could have a very capable rig here. So it just depends on what you want. Either way, I think this thing delivers great performance and it's full of premium components to take it in any direction that you want. So yet another great RTR for us mini crawler enthusiasts to choose from. The range of options just continue to grow, and that's a great thing, both for existing hobbyists and people who are just coming on board. But let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of the Cayman Pro SZK? I'll put the link in the description on where you can pick one of these up. And as always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I'll see you in the next video.